Good morning, everyone. It's Lindsay from the Vintage Button. I junk journal and I slow stitch, and I try to do that as sustainably as possible. And this is Junk Journal July, day 4, gratitude. So this is a day that's down on the list for me to do, but I'm going to try and do one every day anyway because I love Junk Journal July. So what I was thinking about when it came to gratitude is actually about my channel, but also just that, like, gratitude's a big part of journaling and thinking about the things that we do have rather than focusing on the negatives sometimes. I mean, sometimes we can't avoid focusing on negatives, but also we can think about what we do have. And there's that old saying, like, count your blessings. And I think it can be a really positive thing. So I'm going to count my YouTube blessings as I make this page, and I am going to talk about what I'm going to do as I'm doing it and my thoughts. So I started YouTube a few years back. I made, was it 2 or 3? Might be 3. And I made like 1 or 2 videos, and I just hit barriers of thinking that I had to edit it, thinking I had to be perfect, all those types of things. And I stopped. So I kind of started and I stopped. And then a friend challenged me to just do it. And that was at Christmas. And it took me to the following year of 24, 2024, it was last year, for me to actually act on that. Well, okay, then just do it. Just do it. It's a big phrase, just do it, because nobody can just do it. But I sort of let go of the perfection and thought I would just be real. And real is me switching the camera on, having a bit of thinking and thought before I switch the camera on of what I'm going to do, but switch the camera on and let it roll and it be what it is, because this is what crafting is for me. So it's not perfectly edited, it's quite raw, and it is what it is. Hopefully it's good enough and people will find value in it. And so far, when I looked this morning, 994 of you had. And that blows me away. In a year. And I regularly get, because you can see on your little stats, I regularly get about 700 of those people watch the videos, like, kind of return. There are about half the amount of people who watch my videos who don't subscribe, but that's alright. Just happy that they're subscribing. Watching. It's very early in the morning. I can hear my cat crying outside. I'm very grateful for him, but he's a little bit special needsy, and that's okay. He'll come in. He's crying because it's raining. But anyway, distracted. Very easily distractible. I'm grateful for YouTube because it's given me another creative outlet. I could be creative in a different way from the way I've been creative before. I can talk about my creativity and have a space where, like, creativity is okay and it's encouraged. I've met some lovely people through the YouTubes and through sort of putting myself out there and talking about it. And that's the difference, I think. I kind of did it and then I started to talk about it. It took me a while before, like, I even told people at work that, oh, actually I have a YouTube channel. And I think the context was different. The context that I work in is very encouraging and very sort of empowering, I think is the best phrase. So it took a while for me to feel comfortable and confident to talk about what I do. And it's also, it just sort of like, the ideas are flowing, and that's how I know it's giving me energy. It's because the ideas are there all the time. There's ideas, things I could do, the way I want it to grow, the kind of community I wanted to build around it, and that is happening. So I'm really grateful for it, and I think the gratitude helps with the progress as well. If you can't tell what I'm doing, I'm just going over with my Posca markers. This is a napkin that I've just PVA'd. It's still a bit damp, but that's alright. I thought I'm going to switch the camera on and we're just going to roll with it. It might even be a bit longer than we normally. My Junk Journal July videos are not as long as other videos, and I've noticed things about what people like to watch. I've noticed that junk journalers like shorter videos. Let me know if that's true or not, but that's just like what I've noticed. The slow stitchers, I think they like a longer video. That's just what my stats have kind of borne that out. I like that blue colour. I like it a lot. So yeah, so I'm really grateful for YouTube. If you'd have told me last year when I was doing it, and I thought I would use Junk Journal July as that vehicle of giving me kind of a focus and a structure, so it's sort of, I had a plan, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to do these prompts, and for that first month I just did junk journaling and I just did the prompts. If you'd have said to me at that point that, you know, well, this time next year you'll be hosting a Junk Journal July, I'd have been like, no way. This time next year you'd be on a design team, I'd be like, no, that's not going to happen. But it did, and I'm really grateful for it. So, going over my background, layers and layers and layers. You're probably thinking, that doesn't look like it's going to be about YouTube, but you might have spied a little bit of red there. It will. Eventually. That kind of coloured pollen. It's been really warm here recently. Like, very warm. Not been able to concentrate warm. I don't like that. But now, it's cooled down, and I'm really grateful for that. In fact, it's raining. That's lovely. Let's have a see with this. Oh yeah, that one's good. There we go. You know you're concentrating when you're quiet. So this napkin is from Tesco, which is a supermarket in the UK. And that's what we do. We go to Tesco. And every time I go to Tesco, I have a look at the napkins. And I'll buy, sometimes I will buy duplicates if I know, like the butterfly one from, let me show you, from that butterflies from the napkin. I'll get them whenever I see them. I'm like, oh, yeah, we like those. Oh, this is a bit more peachy colour. I'll shape them up. Is it going to come out? Oh, it's a similar colour. That's alright. Yeah. I can hear builders arriving. I don't think they're going to be too noisy too quickly. But they might be talking. But that's alright. I'm going to move on to the next bit now. I've stuck that down. That's from the Be Happy Stationery kit herbology. And I think kits are really useful. You can either make, you know, like her kit in itself, you could use the entire kit and make a journal from it, the way it's laid out. Or you can just use it to sort of enhance whatever you're doing. And that's what I'm doing for Junk Journal July with Sandra's kit. So this has become like a big piece of washi tape that I've just kind of stuck there so that my little counting fairy, because he's counting, so counting his blessings. And you don't have to be religious to count your blessings. You can still count them, but he's counting his blessings. I'm going to put that leaf over there. What do I think? I think that's good. So it's from there to there. Ooh. So you can see this fairy's come from a book that I found in a charity shop. And I make all my own supplies and resources. And I do that for like ethical reasons, but I also do it because it helps my well-being. Like the act of making my own resources. Actually, I don't want that to be. I find incredibly helpful. Like it's a mindful practice that helps my well-being. So here's our little flower fairy. He's counting his blessings in his garden, sitting on a rock. So this is going to be my journaling card. I thought I would just make a little YouTube play button and I would put the number on it. This is an old Victorian book that I rescued from a skip during the pandemic. So like a long time ago, it was like 21. Yeah, I think it was 21. I'd been made redundant from a job that I really loved. And I ended up working in an old people's home under lockdown conditions. And this old people's home had like no resources but a lot of stuff, if you know what I mean. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. So I ended up with a manager. We threw skip loads of stuff away. And I just started sort of junk journaling. This might have even been in 20, yeah, because I started that job in September. I think it was almost immediately. We just started skipping stuff to give the space some breathing space. And part of that was a lot of old books that just wasn't accessible to the people who live there anymore. And this was actually falling apart. So he's going to sit. It's going to not be very obvious. It's going to sit like that. It's not very big, but that's okay. I do think it deserves a bit of gold. So let's find a gold brush. My desk is so untidy. So untidy. I just want gold. Gold, 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 gold. So yeah, I rescued it, and it didn't have one of the back panels, you know, like the back cover, but it had the front, so I knew how old it was, and that it was from the late 1800s. So instead of going to landfill, it's becoming art, because that's what we do in our junk journals. We create our own personal art. I think that's another reason why I want to make my resources, because it feels a lot more like my process. There are things I want to challenge myself with, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. You know, I have the space, I've got my craft room. I'm very fortunate, and it's okay to acknowledge that and be grateful, and that I am very much grateful for my creativity. I actually think it's life-saving. I think it has saved my life on multiple occasions. Right, I'm going to put that to dry for a little minute. I don't know how dry it'll be. It's quite humid. It's warm, but it's humid. Right, I want a little play button So it's a Victorian children's history book. It's full of not truths and colonialism, but you know. Right, so I'm just going to cut. I'm going to cut like I am going to cut a triangle. What do I think? I was looking at the YouTube logo and it's just red with a play button. There we go. Should we do the outside of the thing? No, I think. Oh. No. Let's glue that down. Then I'm going to do the writing on, not on the back just yet. I'm going to make a panel to do the writing on because it's still a bit wet, and then I will stick that on later, but I think it will, to all intents and purposes, be finished. So I don't know if I'll ever get an official play button from YouTube. I think the likelihood is, you know, it's not likely, is it? But doesn't mean I can't make my own. Right, so we've got this. Let's put this to one side for a moment. So we've got this. So I can stick that on, and I can stick it on and fold it over. Yeah. So let's do some writing. Do you actually write in your journals? Some journals I do some writing in. I think I want to do more writing. I did do like writing journals quite solidly for about 5 years. Like I wrote in a journal every day. I don't know how good. I think I used it as a form of therapy, like not realising that's what I was doing. So I don't know. I do have them, and I think I should make a piece of art with them. That's what I kind of, I look at them and I cringe because it's like early 20s where you don't know a lot about life, do you, in your early 20s? Okay. I'm grateful for my creativity. Now I'm grateful for other stuff. I'm grateful for my family and my job and all the things, but today I'm focusing on my creativity. For my craft room. For the treasure hunts. That's like when I go out into the wild and find my junk journal or slow stitch gold. For YouTube. For 994 people who subscribed. I think, I don't know. When I think about that many people, in the past I've had jobs where I've had to speak publicly to more than that amount of people. But it's still a lot of people. Like, I can, if everybody watched, I can see the volume. Like, I know what that feels like. And it was always a bit nerve-wracking. I think you probably shouldn't do it if it isn't kind of speaking. But anyway. all the future possibilities, because that's what I see when I look at YouTube. Smiley face. So, make a page, make it pretty. It doesn't even have to obviously be about gratitude. Just stick something in it that expresses how you feel. Now, this bit's dry, but that bit's not. So I'm gonna, for the purposes of my thumbnail, I'm gonna go like that, and then I will stick that onto it later. But there we go. That's my page on gratitude. If you've found value, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell, all those little YouTubey things that help my channel grow. Go and visit Sandra's Be Happy Stationery KoFi shop. She has kits, she's got freebies, she's a lovely digital artist, and you know, support small. I'm all about supporting small. Alright then everyone, I will see you soon. It'll be tomorrow for Collage Fodder. I need to have a look at my list to see who that is, but I will hand over the baton to them on YouTube in the description. Alright then, bye bye.